The movie trailer, an instrumental part of a film's marketing campaign. At its best, a trailer gives you a small taste of what will hopefully be a delicious feast. At its worst, it shows you absolutely everything in the feast, then shoves the feast in your face until you don't even really care about the feast anymore. Analogy successful? Regardless, today I'm here to talk about the good movie trailers, specifically superhero movie trailers, and I'm counting down my top 15, along with a boatload of honorable mentions, cause I'm terrible at narrowing these lists down. Now, to be clear, this is specifically about the trailers, not the movies. There are a few bad movies here that had absolutely phenomenal trailers. This is only trailer-based, based on how compelling they are in their editing, music choices, how excited they get you for the film, etc. So, let's get into this, starting with number 15, the first trailer for The Dark Knight Rises. This trailer doesn't have that much emphasis on the Batman aspect of the film, but more on the epicness of this conclusion. And I think the way it's done is really effective. The song choices being a child singing the national anthem, and then that chant keeps it more simple and makes it feel more important, more serious. That this is really the finale to the story. It gives us our first look at Bane, and our first listen to his voice, which, whether it's a good voice or not, this line is badass.
When Gotham is ashes, you have my permission to die.
This shot is poignant and floors you when you see it for the first time, especially because of the way the music cuts out in that moment, and we do get some Batman action in here, but overall, the reason this one made the list is because it captured really well the feeling that you would want to have going into this film. This isn't just another run-of-the-mill superhero film, or a fun day-to-day adventure. This is the end of this really incredible saga, and you should be ready for an extraordinary, tense, brilliant conclusion. Whether or not the film delivered that is up for debate. I really loved it, but there's no denying this trailer will probably give you chills when you watch it. Number 14 is a bit more of a personal pick, despite me even having a little section later exclusively for personal picks, but I included it on the main list because I still think it deserves to be on here even without my nostalgia. The first trailer for the Avengers. First of all, it doesn't show as much as the second trailer, which might have shown a bit too much. As a trailer, the song choice is a bit odd, although I love it because I'm so used to hearing it with these shots now. But what makes this trailer so special is how it showed us these heroes teaming up, and how that's gonna look, and what the vibe of the film is gonna be, and it does that so well. It shows fun interactions between some of the heroes, some action with them together, which, keep in mind, was mind-blowing at a certain point in time, when all these heroes teaming up seemed like some crazy, awesome fantasy. It ends with that badass Tony Stark line.
You can be damn sure we'll avenge it.
It sets up Loki as the villain really well. I remember it got me extremely excited for this movie, and that's what a trailer is supposed to do. So, I had to include it on the list here. At number 13 is a bit more of a classic one. I've gone for the original Spider-Man from 2002. I mean, yes, it's cheesy and very early 2000s, but A, to be fair, so is the movie, and B, that's a part of the charm of both of them. It's not a bad thing necessarily. And I just love the idea of a kid who loved Spider-Man comics watching this in 2001 and being absolutely blown away by how this comic book character is now in a real big-budget live-action movie. Because nowadays, there's a new superhero thing every few months, and we've seen all the major characters on the big screen. It takes a bit more to be mind-blowing now. But this was the first big mainstream Spider-Man movie, at the time of superhero movies starting to kind of have their resurgence, along with X-Men coming out around this time. And as a trailer, it's fun. It sets up the film's hero and villain and some of the plot points quite well, and gets you interested in them, shows off some sweet Spidey action, and despite this being from 20 years ago and being cheesy and whatever, that final action montage is actually still pretty damn awesome. Number 12 is one of the most memorable superhero trailers, the teaser for Thor Ragnarok, which I believe was the second most viewed trailer in 24 hours of all time when it came out, only behind the It trailer that had come out a few weeks prior. But talk about making a statement. This trailer clearly had one job, to let people know that this was going to be a different kind of Thor film. And that proposition was just so intriguing. MCU fans wanted to see how Taika Waititi was going to take on this character and this world. And this trailer has so much style, from these epic painting-looking shots to Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song, perfect choice for this film, and this weirder, Guardians-esque but still unique, colorful, kind of goofy space world that this movie would be exploring. It looked epic and silly. Tough combo to get right. And even besides all that, it has big reveals that would get people super intrigued that still don't really give away the whole film, like Thor's hammer being destroyed and Hulk showing up, and a funny moment to close it.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Good preview of the film's style and tone, and got people, including me, very excited. Now I know some of you will think I'm crazy for putting this only at number 11, and I do agree it's awesome. If anything, this should just tell you that there are so many good ones to choose from, but that Spider-Man 2 trailer was definitely going to be on here. If you weren't a superhero fan and you didn't know much about this, the first 30 seconds just seems like a typical romance movie. I don't love you, kiss me, all that. And then a fucking car gets thrown through the window and they're spinning around and there's a man with metal octopus arms, and man, if that doesn't get you hooked, I don't know what will. And even if you were a Spider-Man fan and you knew this was a Spider-Man trailer, it'd get you excited for the new villain. It's just such a perfect way of getting the audience's attention and getting them excited for what now they're going to expect to be thrilling and exciting. And then a great montage of action and characters and intriguing character setups over that amazing Danny Elfman music, including this incredible shot. A great trailer for getting any general moviegoer interested and fans of the first film extremely excited. Coming in at number 10, I've gone for X-Men Days of Future Past, the first trailer. This one still made the list despite it having one of the most bizarre trailer editing moments I can think of.
Patience isn't my strongest suit.
Like, no build up to that scream, it's just
Patience isn't my strongest suit.
But the rest of the trailer is actually quite powerful and emotional. Like, the use of this music combined with Charles' speech and James McAvoy's acting might actually get you a little teared up watching this.
I don't want your suffering. I don't want your future.
The epic tone of the trailer really makes it feel like a conclusion to the X-Men team films, which I know some people probably wish this was. But it has all the iconic X-Men movie imagery, and it showing the new and old cast intertwined in the story got people so hyped. And then the reveal of the two Charleses. Charles-I? What a cool moment, that I wouldn't really consider that big of a spoiler, or like it ruins a moment that bad. The moment is just as effective in the movie, even if you've seen this trailer. So, awesome, epic trailer. At number 9 is the most recent entry on this main list, Joker from 2019. This trailer, I think, played a big part in building up the hype for Joker that led to it joining the $1 billion club. It reminded me a bit of the Mad Max Fury Road trailer, not tonally or story-wise or anything like that, but in that it creates such a distinct vision for this movie's world and evokes a strong, specific emotion in the viewer. Honestly, potentially better than the actual film did. Controversial opinion, oh well. And in this case, that feeling is a sense of unease, and maybe awe in a weird way, of what it looks like this film's story and tone is going to be. The version of the song Smile fits so well over this, and has this majestic yet twisted and kind of haunting feeling to it, which fits this character and his mindset very well. A lot of striking and sometimes disturbing visuals in there. The tragedy comedy line is perfect for a trailer, and the ending with that full-on reveal of the Joker's look, it does a great job of making you feel this movie's special, and not just another typical superhero movie. Perfect trailer for this kind of film. Speaking of all things Joker, number 8 is The Dark Knight, potentially one of the most iconic movie trailers ever, which may make you ask, why isn't it higher? It just doesn't have as much that sticks out about it to me as much as the next 7 choices do. But it's still an excellent trailer. It takes maybe a more basic trailer formula and does the best version of that, and perfectly gives a feeling of what the final film is actually like. It's very Heath Ledger Joker heavy, and it does a great job of showing the average moviegoer, who maybe hadn't followed the series that closely, that this is a new, more intense, realistic, dark version of these iconic characters, especially the Joker, and he looms throughout this trailer as this fascinating threat that you just want to see more of. It's suitably epic with the Hans Zimmer score, shows hints of what to come for those paying attention, and like I mentioned, it's basically a 2-minute summary of what the film will make you feel without giving it away, which is what a trailer should be. It's epic and thrilling and tense, and you just want to see the full film after. Number 7 is the original Red Band trailer for Deadpool. Looking back on it now, given how much R-rated superhero content we've gotten since then, including more self-referential stuff in the style of Deadpool, it might seem a bit quaint even, and you might wonder why it's such a big deal. But when this came out, these types of superhero properties on the big screen were not a thing, really. There had been R-rated superhero movies, but never anything this mainstream. And also coming off of that leaked footage and the successful Deadpool video game, this blew up. The use of Shoop and that DMX track has now made those songs almost inseparable from this character for some people. It's fun and delightfully violent and R-rated. It was a great introduction to this movie for the world, and still a fun trailer to watch back now. At number 6, I've gone for a film that really helped to keep the superhero genre fresh and exciting at a time where a lot of the films were starting to become okay and fun, but a bit more repetitive and generic. Guardians of the Galaxy. First of all, the expectation subversion of having it seem like another typical epic superhero film, then being undercut by a joke and the introduction to Chris Pratt's Star-Lord.
Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw? Forget it.
Then the prison lineup is a fun way to introduce us to characters that most of the mainstream public knew nothing about before this film, along with highlighting and embracing the weirdness of these characters rather than shying away from it, which is one of the things the Guardians movies have done best. And then that montage to Hooked on a Feeling is absolutely iconic. This trailer makes the movie look badass, but also just fun and weird, and really that's what the movie ended up being. And that song choice wraps that all together so well. I especially love the title card, where normally it would be this intense battle, epic choir music or something like that, and with Hooked on a Feeling, it's so not epic that it's awesome. At number 5 is the other side of the spectrum, a trailer I would argue is better than the movie. I know I'll catch some heat for that, but oh well. Batman v Superman. The second trailer is awesome, but showed a bit too much in my opinion. The third trailer definitely showed too much. The fourth trailer was pretty cool with that music choice, but the initial teaser for this movie is the quintessential way to do a teaser. It's the perfect use of footage and timing and showing just enough to get you excited without showing too much. Again, wish the other trailers would have followed suit, but pretty much every shot, every line of dialogue had people intrigued and theorizing on what would happen, with lots of cool reveals like Affleck as Bruce Wayne and the new Batsuit in motion, and it's all topped off with genuinely one of the coolest moments in trailer history.
Tell me, do you bleed? You will.
Just take away everything you now know about what ends up happening with this movie and the DCEU, and throw your mind back to when we'd never seen Ben Affleck Batman before, or Batman and Superman fight in live action, and remember how badass this moment was. And ultimately, even if I didn't love the final movie, I liked some aspects of it, and respect and enjoy how much it's given us to talk about over the past 5 years. It's certainly not a bland movie, I'll put it like that. And speaking of Zack Snyder DC movies, number 4 is the Man of Steel trailer. Both the first and second trailers are great in their own way, but for me, if I have to pick one for this film, the third trailer has got to be it. As we've seen so far, and will see in the next few entries, a big part of movie trailers is the music. And the Hans Zimmer Man of Steel music that's used in this trailer has got to be one of the best modern superhero scores. It encapsulates this more grand and powerful feeling that this movie seemed to be going for, but also that same feeling of hope that the character stands for. The trailer also promised a decent-looking emotional character arc for Clark Kent, and a lot of crazy visuals and action that looked really interesting at the time, especially given we hadn't really seen much live-action modern Superman action. Like, the last big Superman action scene was him lifting a rock, I think. And before that, it was him fighting on the moon in the 80s, you know? And we got Michael Shannon yelling this.
You believe your son is safe? I will find him!
Which some people saw as unintentionally funny, but at least in this trailer, I think works really well in building the intensity. Really just awesome trailer. Now we're down to the top 3, the creme de la creme. The number 3 slot goes to a film that may have had the best marketing campaign of any superhero movie ever, which ultimately ended with a thoroughly underwhelming film. Suicide Squad. All 3 main trailers are good in their own way. I personally love the Ballroom Blitz one, but if you have to pick one for this film, you can't go past the Bohemian Rhapsody one. Really, Suicide Squad ended up being like Trailer the movie, so it makes sense that the trailers were so good. The actual movie had all these trailer-like elements, cool visuals that don't mean much, interesting lines, lots of songs, and while that made the actual film feel a bit vapid and hollow, it comes together for an incredible piece of promotion. It made Jared Leto's Joker look pretty interesting, Deadshot's bullets dropping to the time of the music. It's so fun to watch. You could argue that this trailer is easily the best thing to come out of this movie. Also, random note, but I love Joel Kinnaman's deadpan delivery here.
Deadshot. Guy shoots people. He's a crocodile, and he eats people.
Like he's seen all this before and it doesn't impress him. It adds to a sense of this world being crazy and makes his character more likable. Now at number 2, and for a while this was number 1, but I ended up putting it in the runner-up spot, the first trailer for Logan. This trailer is a work of art, man. You know how I said music is a huge part of what makes a trailer? I can't think of a better song to go over these visuals of an older, damaged, broken Logan than Hurt by Johnny Cash. This trailer showed the world that this is a different type of superhero film. This one's going to be darker, sadder, probably make you cry, and take a fascinating new look at an iconic character. It almost has a western feel to it. Like I said about Joker and Fury Road, this trailer creates this atmosphere that makes you feel like you're already in this world and makes you think more and more about what could actually happen in the film, which is what a trailer should do. It has some heartbreaking lines from Charles, it slowly builds and gets more tense, and what a beauty of editing this is. Plus, the Red Band version shows off some of that R-rated violence that we could expect from Logan's final chapter. Now, before we get to the number 1 pick, I actually had so many trailers originally that I have 2 honorable mentions categories. I know this is ridiculous, but let me have it. There's the regular honorable mentions and BHL's personal favorites, because some of those, I can be real, aren't particularly incredible or noteworthy trailers, but I personally love them because I watch them a ton, or I have nostalgia for them, or they have a really cool moment, or whatever it may be. Like the previously mentioned Avengers trailer, for example, which was good enough to make it to the main list. So, to get through this at a reasonable pace, I'm going to speed round them, starting with the regular honorable mentions first. Endgame. Good trailer with epic ending, but it was more the general hype around this film that made this trailer so good. X-Men 1. Introduced these characters and this universe to the world in a fun way. Into the Spider-Verse. Just all the trailers. Did a great job of showing off this gorgeous animation style and fun story. Black Panther. That Run the Jewels song has got to be one of the best uses of a song in a trailer ever.
And made it out alive.
Civil War, with that reveal of Spider-Man, makes a good trailer iconic. Age of Ultron. The first teaser made it look darker and cooler and really intriguing, and trailer 3 was also pretty sick with that big final shot. Superman 1978. By today's standards, a weird trailer, but for then, I can imagine it was pretty damn cool to see such an iconic character on the big screen, and the reveal of that in this trailer is well done. Spider-Man 3, awesome trailer that gets you super interested with the black suit Spidey thing. Watchmen, another Zack Snyder one, and this really shows that Snyder films make for some great trailers. They have such cool shots and visuals in them, and this one especially, in adapting such iconic source material, would have gotten people very excited. And finally, Green Lantern, X-Men Origins Wolverine, and Superman Returns, simply for making less than stellar movies look cool and exciting. And now I'll just quickly play some clips from the BHL's personal favorite section that I just love on my own and wanted to include.
Kick-ass. Red mist. Oh, shit! Me, that kind of hurt.
A man can't run out of things to live for.
That day ain't here yet.
Tell you what, throw a little hot rod red in there. Good luck keeping up.
And finally, after all of that, I can reveal that I believe the best superhero movie trailer of all time is the first trailer for Avengers Infinity War. The second trailer is also fantastic, especially that ending, but if I have to pick between these two, I don't know if any trailer can compare to how that first trailer made me feel. You'll notice quite a few of these are the more unique trailers, they have creative editing or a good song choice. This one, just format-wise, is pretty simple, but kinda like I mentioned with The Dark Knight, it's a basic trailer done so well, and it's the content of it that makes it so special. This was our first proper look at the beginning of the end, the beginning of this epic finale that had taken 10 years and 18 films to build up to, and this trailer perfectly builds on that feeling of anticipation. We see all these characters delivering that iconic line from the first film, there are a ton of cool reveals, from the Iron Spider suit to Cap with a beard, to Thanos properly there in the flesh, to all these epic fight and battle shots, and this final shot, even though it didn't end up in the final film, it's amazing. There are also character crossovers with Strange and Tony meeting and the reveal that the Guardians are in this. It's just a brilliant way to let people know this is an event movie. And the cherry on top, the use of the Avengers theme over the title card. I don't know if people remember, but this was pretty much the first time the classic Avengers theme had really been used in a prominent way, since the first Avengers movie, obviously. It showed up briefly here and there, but not in a major way, and that is one of my favorite superhero movie themes ever. Even in Age of Ultron, I kept wondering, why don't they just use it properly? It felt like they were dancing around it sometimes. So to hear it on full blast, triumphant, iconic, as it was in some of the best moments of that film, still gives me goosebumps to this day. So, those were my 15 favorite superhero movie trailers, and a ridiculous number of honorable mentions. What do you think of my list, and which ones would you include that I left off my list? Let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comments. While you're at it, be sure to like this video, check out my Instagram and Twitter at BHL_Hudson, check out this podcast about movies and TV and whatnot I do with a friend of mine called The Poorly Planned Podcast, and subscribe for more videos like the one you just watched. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.